Welcome back to another episode of Trading Secrets. Today we are joined by entrepreneur, social media sensation, and most importantly, mother of one, MK. Known for her infectious energy, relatable humor, and candid storytelling, Kat Stickler. Over the past few years, Kat has grown her social media following to over 12 million strong by storytelling her life as she seamlessly juggled parenthood and her career. Kat's ability to relate to her followers by sharing her experiences going through divorce, co-parenting, and the intricacies of motherhood through comedy make her one of TikTok's most popular personalities in today's world. In addition to her thriving social media presence, Kat has partnered with major brands such as Olay, HGTV, T-Mobile, Amazon, and more. And more recently, we love this, David. Kat even added entrepreneur to her resume by becoming a proud co-owner of a retail beverage brand, Stir Natural Water Enhancers, which I will tell you guys, go check out the YouTube because she is drinking it right now. Today, we are going to learn all things about Kat, how she gained the attention of millions through living her life every day with a comedic twist. Kat Stickler, thank you so much for being on Trading Secrets today.
Thanks for having me.
So here's the deal, David. This is not the first try. This is the second attempt. And to Money Mafia back there, we got David, and David is very rarely here on the ones and twos, special occasions. But I tried to get Kat on the podcast in Tampa Bay. She confirmed, and then last minute she canceled on me. That's, tough. But we did get her pegged down here. We had a dinner. And we were some friends. I was telling her about the pod, what she can expect. And in general, I could tell you this, while she's extremely impressive and, like I said, infectious energy on social media, the podcast stuff gets the nerves flowing. Do they?
It does for everybody. It does for me.
Are your
I've been
nerves
doing this
going?
for 3 years. Not as bad as they were in the past.
Yeah.
But it's always nervous to get the bright lights.
Yeah.
You almost need some like background music in here a little bit.
Yeah,
you know? Light it up a little bit.
music.
You know, it's just. But it's great. It's great to be here.
So,
Thanks
Kat,
for coming.
So great to see you.
Now
David.
I've in our little podcast meetings that we have, we talk about guests. I brought your name up years ago about someone that we should get on the podcast because Jason relies on me for the social media space. There we go. Jason relies on me in the social media space because I spend way too much time on TikTok and Instagram, and your content is, like you said, it's infectious, it's high energy, it's fun, and you kind of blew up around the COVID timeline a little bit when a lot of the creators on TikTok blew up. So I've been saying your name on our podcast meetings as someone that we should get on, and so you're here. So I'm feeling good about it.
She's tough to get a hold of, though.
Tough to get a hold of.
You know, you throw a little message in there. There's a lot of people throwing messages to her.
10.2 million followers on TikTok. That's going to be hard to track.
According to my notes. All right. Well, here you are. We got you pegged down. You're here. Before we even get into the questions, how you feeling? How are you?
Super good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Really, really calm.
I
love this stuff.
All right, let me ask you this. I think this is very relatable for people back home because no matter what job they're in, at some capacity, like nerves come into play. You are in front of millions of people every single day. And it surprises me that like even jumping on a mic makes you a little bit nervous. So what's your advice for people back home? Like when they get nervous in these situations, like how do you handle yourself to keep performing? Like what type of advice would you give people back home when nerves enter into the equation?
I feel like nerves are good. They make you feel alive. I feel like you should be nervous at least once a day.
Is that
or 50 times a day if you have anxiety.
All right. Well, we're happy to have you on. Let's talk a little bit about this. This is a fun topic. ABC The Bachelorette. Was there any part of you that thought about doing it?
Yes.
Okay. And what was like the business strategy behind not pursuing that?
I feel like it wasn't really a business strategy. It was more like a life strategy. I think it was just not the right time.
Okay.
And my focus wasn't dating a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
Also, that sounds like a lot of work. That would be a lot. I know people are like, that sounds awesome. Like, whoa, guys. And you have to make out with all those people.
That's the thing that gets me all the time.
You probably made out with that girl, and she made out with 80 guys before you.
Well, 30.
Yeah. That makes it sound a lot better.
He's like, I cut it off at 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also you did, I think you know this, you get fully blood tested, like everyone there.
It doesn't make it better.
It doesn't make it
no,
better?
that doesn't make it better.
Why does it not bother me
because
at all?
you're still swapping spit.
I just did think about it. I'm like, whatever. Like, I mean, whatever.
Did you ever see another guy on The Bachelorette and then he had like lipstick on his mouth and you were like,
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. That happened for sure.
and you were like, it's cool, man. I'm gonna go
Can't
get some
wait.
lipstick on my mouth.
Can't wait
now.
to get my turn.
All right, so if you were we're going way off the business category here, but if you were the Bachelorette, night one, there's 30 guys. You got to at least sit with 20 of them. What percentage of them do you think you're going to give a kiss to?
None.
0. You're not kissing one guy?
No.
I'm pretty sure it's in your contract where you have to kiss.
I would put the contract no.
Really?
See, that's why you
Oh
you
my
would have made
gosh.
it, or you still could make an
know
electric bachelorette.
Yeah, and they could lean in and it would be a fun like.
You'd be the first
sir.
person ever to not kiss one person night one.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
How would you then give, and we're going to get to business here, guys, I promise, but how are you going to give the first impression, Rose, if you don't? Like,
Because conversation, you think I'm gonna be like, oh, your kiss was so good. You get a
Okay,
rose.
gotcha.
You're
When
gonna
you-
make a great life partner because you can mack on me good. No, it makes no
if
sense.
ABC's listening, you might have to call her, and she might have to be your next bachelorette because I think the ratings would be electric.
I'd watch.
I might submit myself.
Submit yourself.
Yeah, to be honest.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you know, why not?
And now we definitely watch.
There we go. All right. Well, now that we covered that, let's take a walk down memory lane, Miss Kat Stickler. I think what's wild about your story is what you've accomplished in such a short period of time, right? So you went from being a med student, all these years later, over 10 million followers, making absolute waves in the creator space. Like, it's really, really cool. But unexpectedly, you're going to be a mother. Just like talk to me about that time frame and some of the stuff from like a financial perspective or planning perspective. Like, where was your head and how did you continue to proceed with such confidence?
I wasn't confident when I proceeded, but I still proceeded. So I really wanted to be a doctor, and then I actually got like a lot of nerves because I think I honestly just wanted to make my parents proud of me. I wanted to feel like I've had value in society, and everyone's like, doctor, lawyer, that's what you have to be.
Yeah.
And so I took a research job at the VA hospital. So it was post-combat veterans. And I was just really passionate about it. It was a TMS study, which is transcranial magnetic stimulation. We like studied the brain. We did EEGs. It was the best. It was the best. It was so great, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Can I cuss?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cuss. Then before that, I did this exoskeleton trial, and it was like seeing people walk for the first time. And I think I just really wanted to feel like connection.
Yeah.
And just be a part of, like, it's so fucking cool to see someone walk again. I just felt like I that made me feel value, and that gave me purpose in this life. I feel like I've always had this existential crisis. Like, whenever I'd go out, I'd be like, why am I here?
Yeah.
I'm wasting time. What am I doing? What are we all doing here on this earth? Why are we all here? And I think I found it like through research and studying that stuff. So I was really passionate about that. And then this is actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's funny. I think it's funny.
Let's hear it.
We had to do EEGs on all the vets. So it was post-combat trauma veterans. And we were basically testing if there was a correlation with TMS and CBT.
Okay.
So there was like 3 trials, right?
Okay.
So you had therapy, TMS, you had therapy fake TMS, and you had just TMS. We were testing to see, these are vets that had like a lot of trauma. They weren't sleeping. They've tried therapy. They've tried medication. They've tried immersive therapy. They've tried everything. So we were trying to see if this worked.
Okay. When you're doing this testing, are you still in school?
So I'm doing both. I'm doing school and I'm working.
Okay. So this is a research
is-
job then.
Yes, at the VA. And it's crazy to get a job at the VA if you're not actually a veteran.
Okay. It's
But
hard
it was
to do
because I
that.
volunteered a lot at first because I just love them.
We talk a little money here. What at this point, what are you making with a job
$40,000
like
a
that?
year.
So 40,000.
So working with the government was really good because they have really good benefits. I left when I was literally right before I popped. I stayed the whole time.
Okay.
I
And
was a
then
big girl. 41 weeks. I kept her in an extra week and I cooked her up in there.
Wow.
okay, so then you have MK. Think about
Big
like
old baby.
how soon after having MK did you start to see some traction with all the social media growth that you've had?
So after I had her, I was actually super, I mean, I don't even know how old she was. How old was she when I made my first video? 9 months. Yeah. Those 9 months were a struggle. But
Yeah.
when I got to the 9 months.
When you say struggle though, tell me about
like
it.
I had like PPD, I had
Yeah.
the whole thing. It was honestly, I think it was also my circumstances. Like
Yeah.
I was, it was a very brief dating time, and then I'm pregnant and I'm married and living with this person and having a child with them, and the trajectory of my life just got derailed. And so did this other person's, you know, it's not just mine. And I just felt like I was asleep.
Yeah.
Like I felt like the pregnancy was like, I was super happy and like just eating and happy. And then after I had her, it was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like then I feel like my body was like protecting the pregnancy. And then after it was like, I woke up from a dream in like someone else's life. And I had a lot of trouble identifying with this new person. Cause you like lose your autonomy. You lose everything.
With PPD,
You don't lose everything when you have a kid.
Lose the life that you used to have,
Yeah.
100%. And so then, you know, your whole focus and everything shifts to what your current life is. And that it's the biggest change that you could ever make in anything. Changing a job seems like nothing compared to, I mean, I wasn't pregnant and I didn't birth the child. So I can't imagine the impacts it has on your body, but
That's huge too.
yeah. And then after it's like, okay, this is a new life and you'd left your job and now you have a child to take care of and was in the middle of COVID.
It was in the middle of COVID.
So
Let's add
talk
to
about
that.
change,
that just adds
right?
this, like what's happening in this world.
With the PPD, were you working at this point? Or
No, this was, I had like, so I was on maternity leave and then COVID hit. So they were like, since it was a research study, I couldn't go back.
Okay.
And they're like, let's just wait. And they kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And I don't know, it was wild. It just really left to your thoughts. Your body's changing.
Yeah.
Your life is changing. I was very obsessed with making sure she was alive. Like, and I just didn't sleep. I would just try to hear her breathing every hour. And I think that just added to me not sleeping, which added to like all these thoughts. And it was like.
So did you start making content on TikTok and Instagram because you were just home and bored, or did you make anything? So you didn't even have a TikTok before, like when you were pregnant or anything?
No.
It was all after.
All after.
Wow.
What made you even sign up for TikTok? Like, was social media any part of your life in any capacity? No. Okay.
I mean, I would delete it for months at a time because it was such a distraction.
So what made you actually download the app?
Such a good question.
Because everyone was doing it during COVID.
Yeah,
but everyone was doing the dances. Like I still remember my COVID TikTok playlist memory in my head was it's when everyone was burnt over.
I didn't want to be on, but I was just like, everyone says you have to be on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, you've had a lot of success in a lot of different capacities, financially, professionally, in all different worlds today. This is like 3 years ago. When you see where you are today with the like monstrosity of success that you have. Monstrosity. What would you tell that girl going through PPD, unemployed, dealing with some relationship issues, a single mother?
I wasn't dealing with relationship issues.
You weren't at that time.
Maybe I was.
Okay. What would you tell that person?
I'm actually unsure. Probably was.
What would you tell that person?
I wouldn't tell her anything. She's going to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then that's the golden question. How did you figure it out? What was it?
Thanks for asking, Jason.
Yes.
I'll take over from here, boys.
Let's go.
So I read this book, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Okay. Jen, if you're watching this, I am a big fan and I would love to meet you one day. So it's basically about embodying just believing in yourself. And I just felt like I didn't believe in myself. And it sounds so cheesy, but I literally did everything that book said. And then that's what made me want to get a TikTok. So I was like, you know what? And you know what? People didn't want to do TikTok because they were embarrassed, right?
Yes, yeah.
But I got pregnant and I was embarrassed by that because it was like, it wasn't planned. It was this whole thing. My parents were like, what are you doing? My friends were like, I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. It wasn't a happy time. It ended up being the best thing ever. But it was just, at that point, it was, I was scared to come out of my house to show my belly.
Wow. Yeah.
Because it was big. They would know I was pregnant if I walked out, no matter how big my sweatshirts were. I had already like gone through this thing of embarrassment that was way bigger than posting a video online. And then I just started posting, and then I put just like, do a video if you want to do a video when MK's napping, and I would only film when MK was napping.
Wow. And
then I kind of liked editing, and I liked storytelling, and I liked communicating creatively like that. It helped me express myself. I feel like I've always had kind of a hard time expressing myself. So I think it was a cool outlet that I never knew could be, you know, a job.
Yeah. So once you started getting going, what
How am I doing?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah.
One thing I think about is like, especially coming from the Bachelor franchise, you get ABC cameras on you for 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours a week for 10 weeks. You get this huge platform, and you, in a short period of time, have gained a mass following larger than probably 10 to 15 leads combined. especially on TikTok, and you did it in such a short period of time. What do you think it was about your videos, your storytelling? What is like the trading secret behind Kat Stickler's secret sauce that made you explode the way you did with your videos?
It's a good question.
Because there's something so like literally, like I'm going to compare you to this. You think about like the greats out there. There's something about Tom Brady, the way he read plays. There's something about some of the best Michael Jordan, the way his work ethic, Kobe Bryant. What you did in such a short period of time, I don't know, 10 people maybe in the world, 10 to 50 people in the world have done it. What was it?
I don't think I'm special. I think I can make a decision and really stick with it. Once I make my decision, I think that's a superpower because I feel like a lot of people are really back and forth. But like I decided, I'm going to have this baby and I'm going to own my life and my decisions. I was like, I'm going to get married. Like I want her to have like a united like father, mother in the same household. And then when things kind of took a curve, I made a decision. Okay, this is what I'm going to do now. And I stuck with it. But I don't think I'm special in the sense of I just went through a lot in a condensed period of time. And I think a lot of virality is based on relatability. Yeah. Like you see viral videos, especially the ones, there's no language. If it's a universal understanding, those go insanely viral, right? Like it's like, if you don't need language and anyone can connect like that. So I think I just went through a lot in just a very short period of time, which allowed me to connect with a lot of different people. So I think that was really just going through a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think that if you didn't go through what you went through, that your virality and your success and following would be what it is today?
No. I also don't feel like I would feel like I had anything to contribute.
Right.
Or to say.
Yeah.
Because when you go through it, it's hard. Yeah. But like you don't think it's hard in the moment because you're just like trying to survive and you're like, I just got to do this.
Was posting and growing your platform, was it like almost like a coping mechanism too for what you were going through in a way? Like did you really like lean into it because it was maybe one of the only things that made you feel good or like a release? I
think it was also like questioning because some brands didn't want to work with like, oh well, you were married now, so
right.
That was why we wanted you, but you're not married anymore.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. So I think it was also figuring out. I remember I asked Alice, I'm like, am I going to be able to like afford an apartment by myself? Because that was a huge thing. Like with my ex and I, he would always handle the money stuff and I would handle like the creative and the filming and just doing it. And I've always had this like relationship with money that like I respect it. Like I really respect it.
Yeah.
I don't really like diving into it because it's really overwhelming.
Yeah.
My ex and I, like, we didn't come from money, so it's not like it was this thing. I just always felt this odd relationship with money. So I think that's why I was nervous on this podcast. Money it makes people weird. I feel like it makes people change.
Yeah.
It brings out a different side of human beings that you like really never see.
Yeah.
People kill for money. Did you know that?
They do.
Oh yeah.
They do. It's crazy.
There's a job out there.
It's absolutely nuts. When was, you had mentioned like you and your husband, you didn't come from money, but then you step into it with all this business. Like what was the first big moment where you're like, whoa, wait a second, I'm making these videos online. Cool, I'm getting followers and likes, but like now I'm making money. What was that? And what was like the first check you saw that you're like, holy shit, I got paid that amount to do this, like the first time?
So this is going to sound odd, but it was 2 times. So the first one was a Christmas ornament I did on my stories. It was for $250.
Okay. What year was that?
I don't know. Like you ask these years, I feel like we're in 2021. I don't even know what year we're in now.
2024.
That's a long time ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this woman had made these handmade ornaments and it was $250. That got me so excited. And I feel like you should be just as excited. I'm not just as excited, but like really just really respect and appreciate that work as much as you would a huge deal.
Yeah.
But that was the first one I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making a difference in her small business.
Yeah.
And then when I actually got my manager, my soulmate, my best friend, my lover, I just love this woman. I just love her so much.
Alice, what year was it that you started working with Kat? 2020 you started working. So you guys started working before Kat went viral. 70,000 on Instagram, 400,000 on TikTok. I want to give people a little background. Alice is Kat's manager. Extensive resume in the marketing and
let me tell you guys.
the names. Working with Hailey Bieber, the biggest players out there, and then went
VP baby. She was VP.
Yeah, and went created her own boutique. We're going to get into a lot of things you already talked about, but I got to ask you, for the talent she was working with at that point, like, you were just up and coming. So did you have to ask her to work with you? Did you have to hit a certain threshold? Like, what did that look like?
So she like basically reached out to me in DMs, and I was like, hey, you want to FaceTime? That's how I communicate with human beings. And she was like, sure. And then I'm like literally like breastfeeding MK. I'm like, hey girl. And she was Australian. I'm like, oh my God, you're Australian. I didn't understand half what she said. It was funny.
I saw a video she did that E-News posted. It was the peach milkshake one. I think a lot of her fans know this very well, this video. And I just knew she had talent. And I wasn't looking to do this, but I just wanted her to know, girl, you've got it. You have to go after this. And I'm sure agents and managers are going to be circling and they're going to see it, what I see as well. I knew she had what it took because I've worked with the world's best, right?
Yeah.
Tom Brady, Hailey Bieber, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. And so I'm very good at spotting talent. So I just wanted her to know you've got what it takes and you should go after this. This is something you really should pursue.
So you saw the it factor in Kat, and that's
and
everything.
I saw the it factor in Alice.
Okay, so how did you get Alice to work with you then?
Well, Alice told me like what to ask all these brands like these agencies that wanted to sign me.
Yeah.
And they take like an extra 15% off the back end. And I was like, I just like Alice. And I called her back and I was like, so I did what you said. And I interviewed all these people and I just really want to work with you. This is huge. Like having someone who believes in you.
Yeah.
Because she's also an extension of me and she represents me and it's my livelihood. Like she also takes care of that. Like that's a huge responsibility. You have to trust whoever is your agency. You have to. How they get back to brands, how they respond, how quickly they respond, what they say when they turn a brand down, what they say when they're negotiating. Like it's a huge dance. And if your agent or your manager isn't doing a good job, it's going to reflect poorly on you.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes into you are who you surround yourself with. So it is who you are.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I was like, so what is it? Because she was, playing hard to get. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I was like, how much do I need to make for you to do this full time?
Yeah.
And then she told me and I was like, okay. I was like, give me 6 months.
You know what my question's going to be.
No, I'm not going to tell you how much you said because I honestly don't even remember what you said.
How much was it? How much was it? How much?
See,
Wait. I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to take a guess. You go first.
So it's how much does she
How much
need to
does
make?
Alice need to make?
No, how much
does Kat have
was
to
it me
earn?
or you?
It doesn't matter either way.
Either way.
Either way.
Yeah.
How much does let's just say how much does Alice have to make it worthwhile knowing the people she's working with?
I would
Take
say
a crack.
I would say Alice needs to make 6 figures minimum.
Yeah, I
100,000.
was gonna say 250.
Yeah, that's my guess.
What was the answer?
Higher.
Wow.
Okay.
Let's go.
Wow, price is
So
wrong.
she challenges you. She says the number she needs to make.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You say what?
So then, yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Okay, so that moment right there, what did you, obviously now you're in full business mode. You got to start monetizing. What did you do to do it? Or what did you change?
I got a big box and I broke it up and it was a big cardboard paper and I wrote down everything I had to do.
What did you write down?
I wrote down minutes. I wrote down I need to sit down and focus and edit for this amount of time. I need to film during this time. And when MK naps, I need to like clean the kitchen. Also, it was a very small apartment. So I like space, clean head,
Yeah.
Do you guys clean it a lot?
Yeah.
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 Cool. And also she turned down a lot of deals. Like she was like, we're going to have to say no a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of like dating, I think. It's like, you got to just go through the weeds. Like, no, sorry, no, sorry, no, sorry. Like, don't just say yes to the first person that asks you out, ladies. Don't do it. Say no, actually, to the first person. And so she said no a lot. And I'm like, hey, just checking in.
I'm not gonna be able to get these numbers if you keep turning down these deals.
We haven't been making any money lately. This is my income. And she's like, this is just, they always come back. And they came back just like they always come back. They always come back. And it was like, they came back even better. And I was like, whoa. So it was a lull period, but I had full like faith and trust in her.
I got a question. I need you to come to the mic here.
Come to the mic,
okay?
Alice.
This is the question I have for you.
You look fucking good. So
The people need to see you.
Yeah.
The people need to see you. Here is my question for you, Alice. So 6 months, she had to earn this amount for you to work with her.
Mm-hmm.
What would that have taken? What's the blueprint to do what she had to do to earn that?
I said, okay, what brands, just give me your dream list. Tell me who is your dream brand partner. You know, and when I manage someone, as you can see, we go deep, like it becomes like a family. So it's my management company is very small, very boutique. I don't want to be a huge agency with hundreds of talent. I want to give very personal, one-on-one attention, very kind of high touch. I mean, literally. So I feel like we just spent so much time together.
why aren't you guys
Right?
Yeah.
weird.
We spent so much time together, and so I know her inside and out. Like I know her answers before she even says them, and I think it just really helped me understand her, what she wants. I know what she would say yes to, what she would say no to, and I just honestly from the beginning it was just believing in her. I just knew she had it, and I just knew just keep going. Don't worry, you know, you get haters out there and things, but I'm like, put the phone down. Like it's very much just making sure she was okay. It was my main priority. It wasn't actually about the money, I'll be honest. It wasn't. Yes, of course, you know, I came from corporate and, you know, I had a salary and I was turning something else down to then start this company to do this. So, you know, we both want to be successful. But it wasn't about that. It was really making sure she was okay because I knew the rest would follow.
Yeah. Okay, I got another question for you while you're here. You've worked with mega stars, right? People back home are lost. They're trying to find their star in them, no matter what it is that they're doing. Kat's done it exceptionally. You manage her day to day. What do you think it is? What is it about Kat that makes her, you know, I saw a list, top 10 U.S. skincare influencer in the entire country, 10 million plus followers. Like, what is it about Kat that makes her like that? And then what advice would you give for someone back home that's like trying to find the star in themselves?
So for Kat, it was her relatability, what she touched on before. As we always say, vulnerability is the root to all connection. And she is so great that she goes there. She's so open and sharing to her fans and her followers and shares things that so many people wouldn't tell their best friend, let alone millions of people. And the fact that she did that, it allows people to connect with her. And you know what? It became cathartic for her as well, going through what she went through. And I was there.
Boy, were you there.
Oh, wow. So was I there.
First flight there.
I was on the 7 a.m. flight that day. But so the fact that she doesn't allow fear to stop her is incredible. Now, obviously, everyone's different, right? Your talent is very different. You've got a different brand. You've got a different connection with your followers, right? But with Kat, she had something to share, and she's such a good person. She's just probably the kindest, loveliest, sweetest, funniest. I mean, she's just the real deal. She's so genuine. And I remember I always used to say to you during, what are you doing, crying? I'm not. But remember I said during COVID, I can't wait till we can start traveling and people can meet you. Because the effect, you guys know, the effect she has on people is...
You guys get it.
I mean, everywhere we go, people are obsessed with her, and they should be because she's incredible, and she just needs to know that every day.
Wonderful.
That's beautiful.
Lovely.
That's beautiful.
And your relatability too in helping people. Like I know you talked about your passion as you were being a doctor, like you felt really fulfilled. Like, are you getting that same fulfillment now through your videos because your content is so relatable? Like you're helping a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think I was like seeing it's different because I'm on a screen. I think it's definitely affected my social anxiety, but I think I could see someone walk. I could see someone get better. I could see someone analytically like, oh, they're sleeping more. They're not having nightmares. That was different. So it was more, this is just a screen. So I just go off of what people tell me when they come up to me.
Yeah.
I read something that your video has to be a certain amount of time on TikTok, and then per 1 million views, you make a certain amount. Do you have any idea, like how long does the TikTok have to be for you to get paid off the creator fund?
This is a new thing TikTok did. On desktop, you can schedule content, which it didn't have before.
Okay. How much or how long does a video have to be for you to get paid? Over a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. And then suppose you get 1 million views on an organic video. If you had to take a shot in the dark, like how much do you think TikTok pays you from a creator fund on 1 million views?
Like less than 2,000 per million, but like
2,000. Okay.
Like we have cop video that did millions, and that was 10 seconds, so you don't get anything from
So you
that.
wouldn't get anything
wow.
for that.
Yeah.
So you get 1 million views on TikTok organically. If it's over 60 seconds, you make a couple grand. But if you have like 10 of those videos a month, that could be like 20 grand just off a TikTok creator fund a month, which isn't, I mean, that's pretty good. So the creator fund brings some money in, but the ad deals are significantly more. Okay, tell me about this. Your videos, like almost every one of them just pops. We've watched them in preparation. They're absolutely hilarious. What does the prep look like? Do you like write it all out? Do you have it scripted? Do you like have editing? Like talk to me about like the preparation for your videos.
I wish I could say something beautiful. Like I wake up in the morning when the sun rises and I write my scripts out and I film. But it's literally just whenever it comes to me, I write it down.
Because you were a writer, you were an English major before.
I love writing. I love reading. I love stories. You're a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Like when
Thank
you were telling me a story
Yeah.
that one time,
Are you flirting with me?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's going on here? We're telling each other stories, right? Exactly.
I am not flirting with you. I'm talking to the camera. I'm not flirting with you.
Okay.
You keep that on record.
Are you turning red?
No. Am I?
A little bit.
What was I
You
saying?
can writing. You're great. Tell me about your writing and storytelling. You're an English major, so you do all your writing before you shoot.
Not everything. Like I've done Hispanic mother skits where
Hilarious.
a whole skit, but my mom doesn't think it's funny, so I got to redo it. Like when I film with her, like I have to get her organic laugh.
Okay.
So sometimes I wing it, or sometimes she'll do something hilarious, and I'll be like, "We got to film this right now! Like this is hilarious." It's honestly, there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's
Okay.
really not, and I wish there was, and I think I'm trying to make it like that because even though I'm a creator, like Judd
Yeah.
Apatow has this thing where he's like, "You got to write, you got to write, you got to write, no matter what. Like you're a creator, but you still got to write." And I just have a hard time with that. It's hard to be funny all the time. It's hard to connect all the time when you're still processing your own emotions.
Suppose someone back home is like really inspired and they want to just try and gain a little following for their business or for whatever they're trying to do. Is it really important to follow trends and use trending music?
When I grew, it wasn't through trending audios. It wasn't through trending music. It was through like setting a trend. It was through doing something no one's done before. That's when it really added to follower growth. You can do the trends are fun. If you want to do growth, I think it's like set your own trend.
Okay. One thing, you started off doing pranks. With our agency, we rep some people that do prank stuff. And some of them get across all social media. They get billions of views a month. We can't get a deal for them. They get paid off the creator fund. And some of the issues are that their pranks have no connection to them. They have no brand. So when they speak about a brand, people aren't buying from them. They're just watching their pranks. What do you think it was that got you to move from pranks to get views to people to say, I love Kat Stickler. I am engaged to Kat Stickler. I need more of it. What did you transition with your content to like really start getting people connected to just you?
I think the divorce. Yeah, when they kind of saw me, I kind of lost my mind a little bit. I mean, everyone wants to see if she's going to, fail or not. So I think it was just they saw me at my most vulnerable and they saw me. I was sad. I was so sad. Actually, when Alice came after everything happened, I was laughing a lot. I was hysterical. I was in shock. And people were walking by like, oh, they are having such a good conversation. And I'm like, little do they know, my life has just turned 180. I was losing my mind. So I kind of lost my mind in front of people. And but that's the thing, like, I'm not special. Like, everyone goes through this in their own way. Like, you go through your pain and stuff. Mine just happened to be shared.
You mentioned your divorce. I just want to ask you, the book I wrote is about love and money. Are there any lessons on love and money, conversation, communication, maybe things you might have done differently going through a divorce and being a mother?
I am so happy. I have MK, like she's the best thing in my life. But whoever you decide to have kids with, you are tied with for life. I think I was naive to that, but I would, do it all again. I love her. I'm just saying that to girls out there and guys out there, just human beings out there. Would always handle like the money side, and I would just like make the money, like, and be creative and be funny. And that was just, I felt very naive after everything happened. I hated feeling like that. I just felt like a deer in the headlights. And I just hate feeling like, I felt sorry for myself and I hated that. I would ask you to send me books. I was like, I need to learn, like, what am I doing? Where is this money going? How do I invest? You know the ostrich, when it's like about to get killed, it just puts its head in the sand?
Yeah.
That's how I felt with money.
Over half of couples have financial infidelity, which is like cheating through money.
Interesting.
based on the
What does that mean?
lessons. So it's doing things deceptive with money that the other person doesn't know about.
Like having a mistress?
Spending and not telling. Maybe it might be on gambling.
Could
Might
be
be
a-
on
could be a
drugs.
mistress.
Could be on
Could be-
whatever. Could be on
Wouldn't
anything.
you know if it's a joint account?
Well, I think the question comes from you saying, like, he handled the money. Like, through your lessons, did you learn, was there any type of financial infidelity or financial fraud happening?
No. Next question.
Okay, next question. All right, we'll move on from love and money, but we'll stay on the topic of family. You already mentioned your mom. She's a star. She is hilarious.
her.
We've seen the videos. She's hilarious.
God bless that woman.
Okay, a question I have for you then. Has your mom got any paid deals?
No, but she should.
Yes, she should.
She's on
Brands
payroll.
out there.
Okay.
Mama's on payroll.
Okay,
Good.
talk to. So there are different tax strategies where you can
Yes.
put family on payroll. Is that
Yes.
something you did?
Lowers the tax. Yes.
Yeah.
And
wow.
she's-
You do know you read that finance.
Yeah, I'm
book.
really smart, Jason. So
Smart, quick, funny.
Keep going. No.
you were saying? Yeah. No, but my mom, we owe it all to Mama. She's the best. I love that woman so much.
Are those your most consistently popular videos? Like they do the best, or with your mom?
I think my first Hispanic mother video, I was like, people are gonna think she was really strict on me, but like everyone was like, oh my God, my mom does that too. I'm like, oh my God, you too? And she's like, yeah, she makes me eat food that's expired. And I'm like, oh my God, did you ever get sick? And they're like, yeah. So it was just like connecting. I remember the first one, like it's always when you're making videos like this, you don't know if people will connect. Like you
Yeah.
don't know if you're the only one. That's why those crazy viral videos that it's like something so specific and everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, me too. That does so well. So I think that was leverage that I had with going through what I went through. They're like, oh my God, she's going through a divorce? Me too.
Yeah.
She has
Yeah.
a kid? Me too.
Yeah.
Breakup? Me too.
Yeah.
Like just, I really like to cover my bases with
Yeah.
relatability.
Like during a day, like when you're just going through things and like something weird happens that you're like, oh, I guarantee this happens to everything. Like, do you write that down as an idea for like the next video?
Sometimes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a big video. You already mentioned it. It went super, super viral. Just recently was this big NYPD
nar.
video. Okay.
Oh, nar,
So
Jason,
there's
nar.
this video of you. For anyone that hasn't seen it, I think it has over 30 million views, at least on Instagram. So I can't even imagine what TikTok is.
You're wrong. It's actually 68 million on Instagram.
68 million. Okay. But you're walking around the cop and people totally connect to this. I got to ask because there's some backlash with it, but
What do you mean? What backlash?
we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But my first question
Is
is
this your clickbait? Is
Just-
this your like, guys, watch this podcast? She's going to talk about the cops.
she's going to talk about the cop. Actually, the cop is here.
Come on out.
And so is his girlfriend. Okay, so why? What I'm trying to get at with a lot of these questions are people back at home, as she's chomping on her ice in the microphone. People back at home can start to like learn from your success. Like, why is that video go? Why are you 68 million people watching that? Why? What's the
Why?
answer, Alice?
I think it was three things. One,
Can I also note, Alice found this man. And she said, I was talking to
Is Alice the genius behind you?
Yes.
Does
Guys, if
Alice
you
do
actually
everything? Alice is Kat Stickler. Everyone go follow
You
Alice.
guys think it's me. It's totally Alice telling me what to do. But we were in Times Square in New York, and I was like taking a picture with this beautiful family, and then Alice is like interrupting me. I'm like, this is so not like Alice. I'm like, Alice, what? I'm busy. I'm like talking to people. She's like, Kat, right there, go, go, go. I'm like, what? Because I wanted to do a cop video.
Yeah.
Because it was a trending audio, and
So you do like a trending audio.
I did like a trending audio,
Wow.
but I knew I was getting a police escort, so you got to do the trending audios based on what's going
What's
on. in your
going
life.
on. Okay.
Yeah. And then I saw the cop, and I'm like, all right, nice to meet you, everyone. I'm gonna go film this really quick. It was a 3-minute interaction. Okay, we did not touch each other.
Right.
obviously, Kat looked absolutely stunning. She was
Yes.
literally about to
You
walk
did,
on
Kat. You looked beautiful.
Times Square stage, host the ball drop. So that was amazing with Kay Jewelers. Love you, Kay. So
Love you,
that's number
Kay.
one.
I love you, Kay.
Okay, there was obviously at the time TikTok had all these cop videos, right? So you see thousands of these videos of girls walking around a policeman, and sometimes the policeman. interacted
Everybody
with them,
knows that I'm a
sometimes-
good girl officer. That's the audio.
Exactly. Some policemen interacted with the creator, and some didn't. So some worked, some didn't. Kat looked incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
This young man looked very nice.
He was a stud.
He
Yeah.
was, all up for it, very
Yeah.
happy to do it. It was literally a 3-minute interaction. Like she said, they never even touched. It was Times Square. It was New Year's Eve. You could see the lights around.
So
It was just all of these
everything was
elements. It
connected.
kind of connected. It was New Year's, you know, it had all the elements, right? It was how Kat walked around, looked. It was very engaging. But it was super quick. It was like 10 seconds. But then life went crazy. It was wild what happened.
So that went crazy. Let's talk about this. A viral video like that. Tell me the areas, good and bad. How does that impact business?
If you want to know, actually, an hour after that video went live, I did a deal because of that video.
Interesting. Was the deal larger or smaller than K?
Huge.
One of the biggest deals.
What was it?
Well, I won't say who or what or whatever, but we were working that night and it was almost midnight.
Yeah.
But obviously people could see there was a magnet there.
Yeah.
Now, did we know he was single? No, it didn't. There was no conversation about that.
Okay.
But, you know, they just followed each other on Instagram. That's all that happened, right? Nothing bad. But literally an hour later, a very, very nice offer was made for if something ever had progressed with the two of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But we never got that far.
Okay, you didn't get that far. Interesting.
Whoa, what was it?
Cat's like, on that note.
Yeah.
All right, give us the bad. What bad came from that video business-wise?
Bad. I mean, I don't know. People were like, oh, she's a homewrecker because he has a girlfriend. But again, I get nervous with doing stuff like this because you can see everything I do, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
They saw a 10-second video based on someone saying, oh, that's my boyfriend. Someone asked you to take that video down. I go to my DMs. No one asked me to take any video down. And I'm like, wait, what's happening? And then this whole narrative gets, because, I mean, that's social media. It's just perception. Everything is perception.
Interesting. Was he interested?
I'm not saying anything.
No, it's a no comment.
All right. Well, we'll leave that. You guys can go watch the YouTube and just get a little reaction. The YouTube video here, people can see you.
This is on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. They can see your reaction and then make their own distinction. Kat Stickler, this has been one of the most interesting podcasts, a wild one. You're a fascinating human. I get why people just want to keep watching it. You're very special. You have something very special. It's very unique. It's different. It's great. It's you. But we got to wrap with a trading secret. Actually, we have Alice here too, so we'll get one from you. It is a lesson on money or career navigation or just even life. Can't get from a professor, can't learn on a YouTube tutorial or TikTok tutorial. You can only get from your experience. So we'll start with you, Alice. A trading secret from Alice, given all your career track, maybe working with Kat, what would the trading secret be for people back home?
Okay, so I think a lot of people follow this rule where you pay yourself first. And by that I mean put 10% or 20% of whatever you can into a savings account, high interest savings account, something where you've got money for a rainy day. Then you go through, you pay your mortgage, your rent, your grocery bills, your car, your petrol, all those kind of things. But you always want to pay yourself first and just get that money out of the way when you get your paycheck or however you get paid, because compound interest is going to be your best friend in life.
That
great
is a hell of a trading secret and one that's in the book. So Alice, we are aligned. I feel like you and I
Jason,
are aligned.
And I agree with Alice's secret.
Kat, trading
Ditto.
secret.
Yep.
You've gone through a lot. You've come from nothing, and now you
I
literally
didn't come from nothing.
You
How dare you?
you built everything you have. Let's
Yep.
rephrase that. You built everything you have, and now you have the world at your fingertips with so much to look forward to. What's a trading secret you can give people back home?
Like, honestly, dealing with finances, I was avoiding that because I felt like I didn't understand it. It was overwhelming to me. It felt like this huge shadow, and I was like, I don't want to deal with that. But it's not empowering. It's empowering when you tackle that. It's empowering when you learn how to use a new software. I'm not tech savvy, I don't know, but it's empowering to learn these things that help further you. And also it's like having motivation. MK is my motivation, and I just really want to make her proud, and and also just having a self-awareness to know your values. So they're not so easily swayed by another human being or like by someone else's opinion. I think that's huge because I feel like I know who I am, and I know the mistakes I made. I know why I made them, and I learned from them, and I know why I did them, and I know what I do and why I do it, and I know who I am, and it helps me whenever anything, all that outside noise, it helps shut it out.
Yeah.
So that helps, I think, also in life.
I think that's great. I'm going to wrap with this. I want you and me quickly, and then we're going to wrap to give a trading secret. What is one secret you've learned from Kat, either today in this interview or from her success?
To me, the fascinating part is like you leaning into your social media at the hardest time of your life was the thing that saved you. And I think that that's like really powerful. Is if you're struggling, you got to lean into something that makes you feel better. And then if it can also make other people feel better, it's going to keep motivating you to do it. So I think leaning into something like that when times are tough and finding what that is for you. And even when times are good, leaning into something that impacts others is a pretty powerful message.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. Mine would be your resilience. I think you've seen a lot, you've gone through a lot, you keep pushing forward and you keep growing. I think that's amazing. And I think the second one is you are truly, truly unapologetically yourself at all times. The same person that we walked into this door with is the exact same person on this mic. Like there is no stage present. There is no fake tone.
She has no
There
stage
is
presence, guys.
like literally, like actually none.
We actually need to work on this.
It is absolutely incredible.
It was alarming.
But it's like no switch, no nothing.
Wild.
I've seen people say it, and this is how they act. No. You are like 24/7 consistent, and that's why they love you, and that's very special. And never lose that. So that's my trading secret that I've learned from Kat Stickler. Alice, Kat, David, what a great episode of Trading Secrets. Before we wrap, because we got another podcast that's coming in here for everyone back at home. I don't know how they don't follow you, or maybe they don't know your handles, but if they don't, where can they find everything you have going on?
On the internet? What do you mean?
Here we
like
go.
Kat Stickler. Kat Stickler.
Okay.
On TikTok. I have an accent right now. I don't know what that came from. I don't think my YouTube is Kat Stickler.
It's Kat Stickler 5757. Go follow her at YouTube, Kat Stickler 5757, TikTok, Kat Stickler, IG, Kat Stickler.
You sound like an infomercial.
And
right now.
that's what I do. Go check out Stir. Stir is the company she has ownership in. Go check it out. You have equity in that. Anything else before we wrap?
No.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of Trading Secrets, one you can't afford to miss.